Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so great to have all of you tune us in and turn us on. I want to give a big shout out for Mr. B. Hello, Benny.
Howdy, Pat.
How you doing?
Doing all right. Thank you very much. And yourself?
Yeah, we're going to have some fun today.
Oh, of course.
We are going to have some fun today. Mm-hmm. We're going to kick it off with radical metabolism, a powerful new plan to blast fat and reignite your energy in just 21 days. Dr. Ann Louise Gittleman is joining me here today, New York Times bestselling author of The New Fat Flush Plan. But this book is different for me, and it's different in a lot of ways, Benny. One of the things is that we are obsessed, one, with food, and we are obsessed, one, with fat. And what I mean by that is, you know, even though you're out there and you're at the gym maybe, or maybe you're not, you know, it's hard to grab that bag or whatever you're going to grab, right? For me, I know I cannot even keep potato chips in the house. That is like a no-brainer for me. That can't happen. And so we grab for it and we start on this frenzy. And the question is, the next thing we know, we don't really understand why we're doing that. Then we compound that with the guilt and the shame that happens once we do something like that. And we look at our health and we say, why did I just do that? Well, I am so thrilled today that we're going to be talking with somebody that not just understands the nutritional aspect of what I just said, but understands the psyche of radical metabolism. You know, here we are with Dr. Gittleman talking, of course, nutrition education, Columbia University, and she is a specialist in so many ways. But more than any of that, it's on a mission. On a mission. We're on a mission with this national bestseller. Why? Because people are demanding something that works. My sister died on a hospital floor at 450 pounds. So when you hear me bring someone on to share something that is radically different, radically new, and radically about our metabolism, it's important to know. I have read the book. We're going to be talking with my very special guest today about what does it mean to supercharge our metabolism? What does it mean to say, oh my gosh, I am so on a no-fat diet. Oh, we know how that doesn't work. All of the above today because Dr. Ann Louise Gittleman is in the house. Dr. Gittleman, great to have you.
And it's a pleasure to be with you, Dr. Pat.
So my sister died on a hospital floor, I'd say at about 450 pounds. Love my sister. I watched her battle weight all throughout her life. It was a shame to know that she had to die that way because she was so heavy that they couldn't administer oxygen to her. And there's not anything that I could have said to her. And certainly you were not available back then to talk about what we've learned, but you are now. We have learned a ton. I would like, before we get into the details of the book, I would like your view of what the conversation was 10 and 15 years ago and what it is today.
So the conversation 10 or 15 years ago was about how no fat, low fat, and high complex carbohydrates was the perfect dietary model. And we've come a really long way in transforming your metabolism by understanding that foods rich in fat / hunger hormones, and that will stop any of your hormonal dysfunction that will be creating weight gain in terms of insulin and cortisol spikes. So what we now know is you want your body to be in fat-burning mode, not a carbohydrate-burning mode. That's the perfect fuel for your brain, perfect fuel for your muscles, perfect fuel for your heart. So there's a real transformation, a real radical metabolism shift that's taken place in the world, and that's why you're seeing so many higher-fat diets, Dr. Pat, like the ketogenic diet, like the paleo diet, the primal diets, and they've got the fat content right in terms of the understanding of how fat makes your body burn fat and access stored body fat as fuel, but they've got the fat all wrong. So that's why we've got a radical book here to talk about.
Well, let's talk about, or for example, when we say radical metabolism, let's talk about the state of affairs for our metabolism. Now, what do I mean by that? Here's what I mean. How many people do we know? How many of you out there have heard the term metabolism? How many of you have tried this, that, or the other thing to figure out, do I need to balance it? Do I need to integrate it? What do I do? Am I drinking enough green drinks? What the heck? So I want to talk with you, Dr. Gittleman, about radical metabolism, because when people have heard this in the past, it has usually meant I got to stand on my head, rub my tummy, kick my legs, and then maybe I can kick this metabolism in the butt. But you've got a new message, right?
Yeah, we've got a new method by integrating an unholy alliance that I have really stumbled upon, Dr. Pat, between the gallbladder or lack thereof and your thyroid, which is one of your key metabolic glands. So we've learned that if you're eating a lot of fats but can't metabolize them, digest them, or assimilate them, that will slow down the thyroid, which is so important in terms of firing up metabolism and switching the body into a fat-burning mode. So this program defines the right kind of fat, what you do without a gallbladder, and what you do with a sluggish gallbladder where you've got dizziness or bloat, especially after a fatty meal, or problems in terms of pain between the shoulder blades or under the rib cage, or even gray or light-colored stools. So I believe that sluggish bile or the lack of a gallbladder can slow down your thyroid, and to me, radical metabolism is nothing less than the new thyroid cure.
Yeah, and the good news is on this network, by the way, this is our 15th year. The good news is that after I came down with a mystery disease in 2004, just so you know, and put on 100 pounds, because basically the exact reason you just said, stuff just stopped working in my body. It didn't matter what I ate, what I didn't eat. When the body parts, especially the gallbladder, is not working, then your body just doesn't function right, let alone have the ability to fight off disease. I want to ask you this. I'm going to talk a lot about you today, your book and your work. Here's what I'd love to know. Given everything you've done, all the work, all your passion, I would love to know what some of the challenges, what some of the obstacles you personally had to overcome to get to this moment here today.
Oh, that is a loaded question, Dr. Pat, but I would say that the personal obstacles in terms of my own health was being extraordinarily sensitive to pesticides, to hormones, and to the detoxification procedure itself. I have done every imaginable test known to man in terms of my genetics, only to learn that of the 4 detox pathways in the body, I have 3 of them that are blocked. Most people have 1, several people have 2, but it's rare to have 3 of them. And so when I write about something, you're talking about the canary in the coal mine. If it works for me, it'll work for everybody else out there. So what I learn and what I gather and what I've collated and correlated over the past 10 years has been put into this particular book. And it's radical because we're sick, so we need a no-nonsense program. We need an extreme program to change the course of our health in America and in the world. So that's probably the motivation that I've had, being so intrinsically and exquisitely sensitive myself. And I know what the problems are with so many women and men out there. They've tried everything. They think they're doing everything right, and there's still a glitch. So hopefully this book will provide the answers and solutions to those that do not have a gallbladder, have sluggish bile, have problems with their thyroid, have autoimmune issues, or have problems with insulin or leptin resistance.
Wow. Listen, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about, I just love the way you've broken this down into 5 radical rules. I love that. 5. Just 5. For those of you out there, just 5. Can you imagine transforming your life with just 5? Yeah, but they are filled with inspiration, perspiration, and results. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. We have got a copy of Radical Metabolism to give away. And for those of you out there, what I want to say about this is, if you ever try to do this alone, get a couple copies of the book, share it with a friend, and do this together. That's what I have found works when it comes to moving forward. But more importantly, you're not going to believe what Dr. Ann Louise Gittleman has put together for everybody out there. I can't even believe it, actually. And I've read the book. I love it, but I got a bunch of questions, everybody. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I've gotta keep the calm before the storm. I don't want less, I don't want more. Must bar the windows and the doors to keep me safe, to keep me warm.
Stay juicy. Tune in to Your Juicy Love with me, Una Drake, co-hosting monthly with Dr. Pat, and every second Monday at 12 p.m. on Transformation Talk Radio. My show, Your Juicy Love, helps you find the dynamic, life-affirming love you've always wanted. Transform your relationships and bring peace, joy, and juicy, juicy love to planet Earth. For more information, visit unadrake.com.
Our angels and animals are always working for and around us. Darcy Pariso knew from an early age she felt this incredible presence that was confirmed for her in a Reiki Level 1 course. From then on, she has honed her skills and dedicated her talents to providing answers, inspiration, and tools for people to move past limiting blocks and past traumas to truly live a life of happiness. For more information about working with Darcy, visit darcypariso.com.
Are you ready to shift gears from spiritual seeker to spiritual rock star? Let Nova Whiteman be your aligning force that will help you navigate the ups and downs of this human experience. Tune in to Spiritual Alignment Radio with Nova Whiteman every second Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more, visit NovaWhiteman.com. That's NovaWhightman.com.
Thrive is what we experience when our mind, body, and soul operate as one. When we thrive, we excel on all levels. Thrive is the mindset that matters. It is essential to our being. Have you ever found yourself looking for the instruction manual on how to thrive? You'll find everything you need to help you feel strong, powerful, and peaceful in your own body. So don't waste any more time. Visit thrivebyjen.com today.
Dream on, fly high, and live adventurously on The Laura Meeks Show. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio. As host, Laura Meeks guides you in finding your unique gifts and bringing them to life. As a certified life coach, speaker, and veteran bomber pilot for the U.S. Air Force, Laura knows how to follow a dream. She is ready to support you so you can dream on, fly high, and live adventurously. For more information on Laura and her work, visit flyhighliving.com.
Have you been searching for a push to step out and share your gifts with the world? Allow Charlene Hess to empower you to start shedding the layers of your ego that are holding you back and begin feeling connected to your heart so that you can shine your unique divine light and share your gifts with the world. Tune in to the Charlene Hess Show, Living on Your Heart's Edge, every third Friday at noon Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more information, visit CharleneHess.com.
Yeah, my life is what I'm fighting for. Can't part the sea, can't reach the shore. And my voice becomes the driving force.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I am so thrilled. Radical Metabolism. By the way, everybody, look, if you have questions throughout the show today, please give us a shout, 1-800-930-2819. Before we kind of dig into these 5 rules, Dr. Ann Louise Gittleman is joining me here today. Would you mind letting folks know, 1, how do they get a copy of the book, and 2, how do they find out about you and get engaged in this 21-day event?
It's an event that will transform, God willing, your life. Well,
Yeah.
if they go, Dr. Pat, to radicalmetabolism.com and order the book, they will get 25 recipes for a radical metabolism. They will get another free gift of stocking your radical metabolism kitchen, and a third, which is crushing cravings for a radical metabolism. But that's not all. We're also going to be giving away a 30% off coupon to the only coffee brand that I've ever promoted. And they'll be getting that as well, plus an invitation to engage in a Facebook group in which I interact directly with all of my radical metabolism community.
I want to say the website again for folks. It's
radicalmetabolism.com.
Right. I just want to say for those of you out there, please take a look at what other people are saying about the book, too. When you come here, what I love about this is you're going to get some additional gifts. And I just want to tell everybody what they are. It's not like sometimes you order a book and then you get some gifts that don't make sense. What you're going to see is you're going to see 25 recipes, right?
Yeah.
Then you're going to see how to stock your kitchen. Then you're going to see what does it mean to crush cravings. So all of this is going to come to you. So please check it out. The other thing is, if you're going to be doing this with a friend, think about how you can tag team, get a couple of copies of the book, and take the journey with someone else. As a matter of fact, we are thinking about here creating a group to support this, because this is one of the most important topics for me. I don't want anybody to end up like my sister did. Thank you, Dr. Gittleman, for today. I love the number 5. If you listen to the next show, you're going to hear my astrological chart. I don't even know what's coming. But 5.
What sign are you, Dr. Pat?
Okay, so I have like 4 planets in Sagittarius and 4 in Capricorn. So and they're all up in the top right. My moon is in Capricorn. So it gets to say a little bit about me up there. I don't really know a lot about it, but I think we're going to be talking about what the next year is for me. I know the next year is for me, our network's going from 2 channels to 10. But most importantly, none of that matters if my health is not in order.
Well, and
that's why
you're a
here.
truth seeker. It sounds like you're an inveterate truth seeker.
Boy, it's not. I got to tell you, it's not an easy journey sometimes.
No, we know, but I salute you. Wonderful.
You are too, though. Look, you and I, both graduates of Columbia, right? And here we are. We are out talking about something that maybe the whole world doesn't really get. You put this down into 5 rules. I want to start, just first go through all 5, and then we'll kick it back and take a closer look at each of them.
So I divided the book into 5 radical rules to rescue your metabolism. I mean, because that's what we want to do. We want to rescue a stalled metabolism. So radical rule number 1 is revamping your fats. Revamp your fats. It ain't just coconut oil that's healthy anymore. Number 2 is the radical rule of restoring your gallbladder. Whether you do not have it, you can restore gallbladder support, or if you've got a sluggish gallbladder because you're not digesting fats and they're being stored instead of being accessed for bodily energy, We're going to help you with that, with restoring your gallbladder. Number 3 is rebuilding your muscles. Number 4, repairing your gut. A skinny gut is a skinny waistline. And number 5, reducing your toxic load. So those are all 5 of them in a nutshell.
Okay, I want to go back to fat. I'm sorry. It used to be fat, get back. No. That whole non-fat thing, honestly, it almost killed me. And I'm one of the people, I've tried everything. I mean, after watching my sister and then battling my own demons, I got to say, I did try everything. But let's talk about what revamp your fats means. Because we did go extreme. You know it, right?
We went really extreme with no fats and low fats. Then we got into saturated fats with my good friend, may he rest in peace, Dr. Atkins. And now we're on the higher fat diets, which is the ketogenic or even paleo-style program. But this is revamping your fats and having a radical shift in thinking about the good omega-6s, which are the weight loss fats that will help to burn extra calories for energy and heat, and will also be very toning and tightening for your skin, so that when you lose weight, you will not look at your skin will be glowing and healthy.
Can we just digress for a minute?
Of course.
I want to talk a little bit about Dr. Atkins. A little, not a whole lot. Dr. Atkins, back in the day, and this all changed and evolved and so forth, Dr. Atkins helped me understand that for me, going down the pathway of no fat was really not good for me. And so I was introduced to a new way of eating. And I don't know, and this is not a show about Dr. Atkins, what it is about giving ourselves permission to eat the right fats, you see?
Yes, yeah, and he was a big believer in saturated fats, pork skins, and all kinds of dairy and cream. And it's not that those are necessarily bad fats. They're neutral when it comes to cholesterol and heart disease. But what he missed the boat with, and he would be the first to agree if he were alive today, is the importance of these essential fats that your body needs for every tissue, hormone, and cell. And that's where my omega-6s come in handy.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question here, and then we'll go on to radical rule number 2. I think, and I probably am wrong about this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I love to come out and say something wrong and then have you all correct me. For years, I went through the phase, like many people, when it came to fat. So let me give you a couple of examples, then I'd like you to comment. Number 1 on the list was coconut and coconut oil. And it was out there as, whatever you do, don't ever put this in your body. And yet, at the same time, I come from a Mediterranean family. You know, myself, my grandma, for years, I put olive oil on my skin before I went to bed. So giving up those kinds of things, especially in the area of olive oil, was painful. Painful. What is the injustice that we have done with fat? And can you give us a couple of good fats that we can say, yeah, try this?
Yeah, well, when we talk about revamping your fats, we're talking about the importance of coconut oil in terms of its being rich in medium-chain triglycerides, and they digest in an unusual way, which significantly increases metabolism. And so just one serving of coconut oil or the MCT oil that you see out there, actually it will keep your metabolism elevated for up to 24 hours. So increasing your metabolism, of course, translates into increasing energy. And they're part of the olive oil, which is the Mediterranean diet's, claim to fame, is also part of my program. Not because it's a good fat, but because it is a high source of polyphenols, which are very healing to pain, to skin, and the heart. So they're part of my radical metabolism maintenance program. But the oil that I feel that we're missing is one that's rich in omega-6s, an essential fat, of which MCT and coconut as well as olive oil do not qualify. And that's where I say, hemp, hemp, hooray. Bring back hemp seed oil, which is now available, Dr. Pat, in every health food store in the country. Hemp, hemp, hooray.
Yeah, I love that you said that because many people do not know the qualities of hemp. I mean, everything from clothing, clearly we have had a bout of how important it is, and yet here we are, and let's talk about it. And certainly we'll talk more about it. I'm going to go ahead and skip the break so we can continue here. For those of you out there, please go to the website, radicalmetabolism.com. Let's jump to rule number 2, because I think rule number 2, this is the game changer. This is the thing that we have not been talking about for probably 3 decades. I remember a little bit way back when my grandma was alive, where gallbladder, I don't remember the Italian version name for it, but you could hear my Italian New York grandma say, gallbladder. Yeah. Let's talk about radical rule number 2, restore your gallbladder.
Well, this is a biggie. So we talk about how bile that nobody talks about, is the forgotten switch for not just weight gain, but also hormone balance, digestive problems, and body toxicity, because it's a method of detox. So bile is the real game changer, as you say here. And free-flowing bile breaks down fats, it flushes toxins, and it revs thyroid function so you can slim without a struggle. That's kind of the biggie. And I have to let you know that there's good research about this. We know, based upon some breakthrough studies at Harvard, that individuals that experienced a 50% increase in metabolism were improving their bile health. So when you improved your bile health with certain bitters, certain foods, certain supplements, you increased your metabolism, which was a spike that made the difference between constantly dieting without seeing results and watching pounds effortlessly fall off your body. This is a real big one.
Many people don't know what the gallbladder does. I mean, a lot of the times what we've heard in some of these medical shows or whatever you watch, it doesn't really get a lot of love. It doesn't get a lot of attention.
I know, right? It's a throwaway organ, and I tell people...
It's a throwaway organ.
I know, but it doesn't belong in the throwaway organ club. I mean, get it out of there, for heaven's sake. So the gallbladder is a very important storage tank for the bile. And when you don't have it, you do not have the timed release of digestion or assimilation of fats when you're eating 3 times or 4 times a day. So eating a higher fat diet without making sure you're digesting the fats is really ridiculous. And it's something that I'm very radically against. You need to make sure that you're eating the proper foods to help digest all those fats. And if you do not have a gallbladder, you need some sort of support system, similar to what happens when you have the hormone therapy support or thyroid support. And that's where my bile salts come in handy, my dietary bitters, as well as certain nutrients that I talk about in the book.
All right. So when we take a look at this, right, number 3 is probably the thing everybody listening to this knows and dreads thinking about. Let's talk about it, and then we're going to have a longer talk when we come back. And let's talk about radical rule number 3, rebuild your muscles. Now, many people think when you say that, oh, I'm going to lift 500 pounds. Let's talk about what this means and why it's not just important in metabolism, but it's important for a lot of other reasons.
Well, it's very important because we start losing muscle mass as we age. I think the latest research suggests that after the age of 40, we can lose up to 6 pounds of muscle each decade. And when you lose that kind of muscle mass, then you're slowing down your metabolism, causes us to have less energy, and we can put on weight. But if you help to preserve your calorie-burning lean muscle mass, then you can ensure that fat and sugar are burned for fuel by the muscles instead of stored as fat. And that helps us eliminate the menopause that many women have when they get older, or the love handles that the men develop. So it's a very important issue with proper exercise, proper movement. And here's where my coffee comes in handy, because the research suggests that when individuals drink coffee as a daily habit, they have a much lower risk of muscle loss, which I thought is totally radical.
Well, I mean, this is really, it's not just totally radical, but the kind of coffee is really important. I'm not necessarily talking brand, but, for me, and I know we're going to talk about this when we come back from break, it's that I discovered for myself that regular off-the-shelf coffee was just killing me. And I discovered I did a whole radio series on coffee as a raw food and what does it mean. We're going to talk about that more. When we come back, we're going to take a short break, Benny. When we come back, we're going to talk about something that I learned the hard way, radical rule number 4. And then we're going to give a copy of the book away. We're going to absolutely talk about what radical metabolism is all about, phase 1, phase 2, 21 days, how you make it happen, and do it in a way where you learn, you grow, you sustain, and you change. Let's take a short break, everybody. We'll be right back, and we'll give a copy of the book away.
I find it hard to say the things I want to say the most. Find a little bit of steady as I get close. Find a balance in the middle of the chaos. Semi-lost, semi-high, semi-never, demigod.
Take your own journey with the angels with Claire Candy Huff's Heaven Sent Guided Angel Meditation CD. Letting go of concerns and living in the now. This beautiful CD walks listeners through practical exercises to help free them from the burdens, worries, and concerns of daily life.
Walking a quarter of the way across the bridge, you see a bright, emerald green light and sense a loving presence. This is Archangel Raphael's green healing energies, nourishing and revitalizing you. Take a moment now to bathe in this green healing light.
Giving you much more than just relaxation and stress release, this wonderfully narrated CD provides vivid visualization, soothing and inspiring music, and an angel's choir that will bring you peace, clarity, and a newfound awareness. Visit angelhealinghouse.com today.
Interested in deepening your spiritual practice? The School for Esoteric Studies offers online training to spiritual seekers from all paths of life and individual coaching. Our courses synthesize Eastern and Western spiritual traditions based on meditation, study, and service applied to everyday life. To learn more about our courses and services, please visit www.esotericstudies.net.
What is holding you back from living the life you are meant to live? Why is it vital to believe in something bigger than yourself? Are you in physical or emotional pain? Tune in monthly to Vibrant Purposeful Living. Awaken the vibrant life within you with Lou Paradise and Dr. Pat on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Lou's passion is to help everyone experience positive solutions for life. Find out more about Lou with Vibrant Purposeful Living at LouParadise.com.
Tune in to Knowledge Book Radio with host Marge Potasic each Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Through many experiences, Marge was led to the Knowledge Book, a gift to humanity in its transition to the Golden Age, and it provided the truth and the answers. She now shares information from the Knowledge Book with you each week on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more information, visit usa.theknowledgebook.net.
To find answers to life's questions, you need to look within yourself. Dr. Glenna Rice brings your questionable conversations on Transformation Talk Radio each month. Tune in each month for insight into how you can live up to your full potential. Dr. Glenna is a physical therapist, certified Access Consciousness, and Access Body Class facilitator. How does it get any better than this? For more information on Dr. Glenna Rice and her work, visit glennarice.com.
Another time, but looking through the ways of the ones before me, looking through the path of the young and lonely. I don't want to hear about what to do. I don't want to do it just to do it for you. Hello, let me tell you what it's like to be a...
Hey everybody, welcome back. Love to give a copy of the book away. Radical Metabolism, a powerful new plan to blast fat, reignite your energy, 21 days. Really, it's like a blink of an eye. But what Dr. Gittleman has done in the book is gone through, takes you on this journey, talks about these rules, and then tells you what to do about them. Everything from what to eat, what not to eat. And when you look at this, it is the what not to eat is small compared to all of the options that she gives us here. And so we're going to touch upon a couple of these surprise things, I think. But let's finish looking at radical rule number 4. Benny, 1-800-930-2819. Let's give a copy of this great book away to someone. 1-800-930-2819. Dr. Gittleman, again, people can go to radicalmetabolism.com, the website, and get the book and get all the goodies that go with it, yeah?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, here we go. This is it. Repair your gut. If I had one thing to say, if my top 3 things, what are my top 3 things to say? Repair your gut, repair your gut,
and repair your gut. And for many people, repairing the gut is very important. For others, it's repair your gallbladder. So it's very dependent upon what is going on in your individual system, which is why all 5 of the radical rules, I think, can be helpful for somebody. But when it comes to your gut flora, we understand that that's very important in terms of your immunity and in terms of your weight, your brain, your heart function, and so many other areas that we didn't even consider. I think that probiotics are so important they should be considered an organ.
There's no question about it. And for those that don't know what probiotics are, let's talk about that. Because we have things that go on in our gut. Let's talk about it. One is, we call it gut inflammation. And by the way, I think we have an epidemic right there. I don't know for sure, but I'm betting on it, right? And what do we mean by gut inflammation? What we mean is that, from your description of it, it could be a range of things. But the bottom line, the gut isn't doing what it was meant to do. But this can be fixed.
Oh, it definitely can be fixed. And what we want is a healthy inner ecology is what we want. And around 85% of those bacteria that are living in there should be of the good kind, the beneficial variety. Probably about 15% can be pathogenic or yeast-inhibiting or yeast-enhancing. But if too many of the wrong microbes take over and the ratio goes upside down, then you're going to suffer from poor cellular communication, bad metabolism, inflammation, and poor immunity. So the idea here is that everyone's individual inner ecology is unique. So we want to be able to supplant that, to support that, to repopulate that with foods that feed it, number one, whether it's a cultured food, it's a fermented food, or whether it's a probiotic that you actually take in a pill or powdered form. And that's why it's so important to get your gut health in good shape. We find that it's very important for your weight because skinny bugs make for a skinny waistline.
Yeah. There's so much we could say about this. But what is the freedom? I mean, let's just talk before we jump into radical rule number 5, because they are related. And maybe we should talk about them together. Repair your gut and reduce your toxic load. I have found them to be very, very closely related. Now, let me tell you why. From my point of view, repairing my gut is one thing, but I really had to look at toxicity. And is it safe to say they're like twins?
Yeah, they're like twins because all of the elimination goes on in your gut, and it's where 75% of your immune system lives. So killing any of these bad bugs or parasites or virus or tick-borne co-infections, all of that has to happen in the gut. So making sure that you've got enough of the good guys and that they're strong and they're viable and they're vital is why the food program that we talk about actually gives you prebiotics and probiotics, because the two are intrinsically tied. But there's an awful lot that you can do beyond diet that I talk about in the book in terms of retooling your kitchen and your pantry, as well as your refrigerator and your freezer. So I find that getting the right foods is one thing, but what you're cooking them in is quite another. And that's why there's a whole chapter, Dr. Pat, on retooling your kitchen and getting rid of certain cooking utensils and keeping the others. To me, that's just as important as what you're eating.
All right. We live in a world where we're just bombarded with, I don't know another word, let's just say toxins, to the point where we don't even know what they are. Let me ask you a slightly different question. If I ask you, right, we've got about 15 minutes left in the show, if you had your top 3 things, right, out of everything in your book, the top 3 things that you think that people could do starting today and see change almost immediately, what's at the top of your top 3? I know that is a tough one because this is not a one-size-fits-all, but there are top 3 things, specific things that each of us could do, whether that be, look, don't eat that thing, get off of that for 21 days, or how about adding this? What would you say?
Well, for me, because I believe that the bile and gallbladder are so intrinsically connected with the thyroid and that suboptimal bile flow and slow thyroid go hand in hand, I would have to say that anything that detoxes the bile and boosts bile production would be number 1, which is where the supplement called Bile Builder comes in handy. It's something I created after seeing nothing on the market that had the proper bile thinning and bile digesting enzymes. So that would be number 1. Number 2 would be the use of the hemp seed oil for the omega-6. And another oil that nobody is talking about, Dr. Pat, that can repair your esophagus, your gut, your stomach, the inner lining, the outer lining, and that is pine nut oil. So I'm all for anything that helps to digest fats and the right fats that we're not eating from the omega-6 family, which is hemp hemp-hemp-hooray, and pine nut oil, which can correct a leaky gut and issues that nobody has had any success with previously. It will correct your system inside and out from the anus to the oral cavity. It's just an amazing find that I stumbled on when I did the research for Radical Metabolism.
I got a question that just came in asking about the hemp oil. Hi, Dr. Pat. Hi, Dr. Ann. I've been, okay, it's a little abbreviated, sorry. I have been Googling hemp oil as I've been looking at this as you've been talking. And are you talking about hemp oil drops, or is there hemp oil to cook with? Great question, Mary. Thank you, Mary, down there in California.
Yes, Mary, thank you. We're talking about the hemp seed oil that you use in no-heat recipes. It's actually a salad oil. So it's not a cooking oil. It's an eating oil. There are many different name brands. When you get the 3 gifts, you'll see Retooling Your Pantry, and you'll see the name brands of the top ones that I think are the healthiest, and that taste the best. And it's very neutral. It doesn't taste like anything, but you'll see wonderful results.
I love it. One of the things, too, that I want to talk about is some of the more controversial items. And I think dairy comes to the top of the list. I don't think sugar is as controversial anymore because people have a sense of it. Now what's happening is they're looking for a sugar substitute that works. So 2 things I want to get your input on: dairy and then the sugar conundrum.
So, some people can tolerate dairy, some people can't. Just make sure that it is A2 milk-derived dairy, A2 derived whey protein. That makes all the difference in the world between a non-mutated casein and the healthier casein. That's number 1. And then number 2, the question was sugar. And I guess when it comes to sugar, we don't need any of the artificial stuff. We certainly don't need the white stuff, the pink stuff, or the yellow stuff either. I think you can get enough in your 2 fruits a day that we allow on the program and on maintenance. And I think you can get enough from some of the sweet veggies and your squash, your sweet potatoes, and your yams. So you don't need a lot of sugar. I always remember that glucose can also feed cancer and fructose can make it spread. So sugar is the enemy. Fat is the savior.
2 things I was really struck by in your book, which nobody's talking about. I want to get right to it. Bitters. A lot of books I've read over the past 15 years, and believe it or not, I grew up with an uncle that used to drink bitters every day. And a lot of people look at bitters and the word bitters from a cocktail drink. Can we talk about bitters for a minute, what you discovered and why this is so important in the 21-day radical reboot?
Well, because it helps metabolism. It'll help you lose weight. And so if you add some of the foods that are high in bitters, you'll boost your bile production, break down proteins. It'll help the gallbladder release the bile in the first place. And if you don't have it, then it's going to help digest the fat that's going to be in your system and then dumped into your intestinal tract. So bitters are better. It's kind of a mantra that we need to restore because the American diet typically used to be higher in bitters, but they're not popular anymore. And if you go out to eat, then what you'll order is maybe an arugula salad. You'll have a little bit of grapefruit because they're all bitters, maybe some thyme, some dandelion root tea that you bring along with you. And if you go out for a cocktail drink, Angostura bitters. I mean, bitters are better. We've just forgotten them. I consider them a forgotten flavor.
Yeah, I got to tell you, so you just mentioned grapefruit. I am one of these people that I get on a grapefruit kick, and all of my friends say that you must be missing something in your body. I literally get on a grapefruit kick, and what that means is I'm just hungry for grapefruit. I don't like my grapefruit cold, and I can sit there and I literally can eat grapefruit like for dinner. And my friends are like, what is wrong with you? There's got to be something my body wants. Can you talk a little bit about grapefruit? Again, it falls into one of those categories of misunderstanding.
Well, grapefruit is so beneficial because it has a bitter kind of phytonutrient that's been known to help weight loss. And so if you want to reduce the taste of the bitter without reducing the therapeutic value of the bitter, which is so good for digestion, put at least a teaspoon or a half a teaspoon of olive oil on your grapefruit. It'll reduce the taste of the bitter. So that's not a biggie, but it's very important. You know, years ago they talked about the grapefruit diet, and now we know there's good research to underscore the mechanism behind it.
Yeah, look, two things too. I know I've got a few minutes left. Again, everybody, go to Radical Metabolism. This book is not just about the 5 rules, but you literally lay out the foods. I love the Greek yogurt. Greek Gods was a sponsor of the show for a year, and then they had so much publicity, really put them on the map. They sold a company. But what I learned is what you talk about here is you talk about how to use this full Greek yogurt as dessert. There are so many things in the book. I want to talk about that for a minute. This is not just a book about do's and don'ts. You're giving us possibilities here.
Well, possibilities. We're giving you do-it-yourself bitters, little aperitifs that you can have, food combinations that actually work, ways that you can reduce your toxic load without depriving yourself of good nutrition, ways that you can make desserts. We want you to eat desserts and lose weight. We talk about the importance of the right kind of coffee, the right kind of chocolate, the right kind of oils, how omega-6s have been given the shaft, so to speak. They've been misaligned and unfairly demonized. So we talk about it's a book that rewrites the rules of nutrition. It's not just a diet book. It's designed to be a transformational body book.
Okay. Gonna turn this over to one of the greatest controversies in my house, and that is butter. There is a version of butter we now know about. It's now available everywhere, and it made your list. Tell us what that is. Kind of a funny name. People may not recognize it. I call it G, but I spell it Ghee. It's like, gee, I found a butter I can have, but it's not. That's not right.
It's a clarified butter, and for a minute I was racking my brain. I said, what did I talk about when it came to butter? So it's clarified butter. Well, it has one of the highest smoking points, so we like people to cook with it. It's clarified butter that you can find in any good health food store or co-op these days. And we find that it's very stable to heat, air, and light. And some of the oils we talk about you can't cook with, but the ones that you can cook with include the ghee, the clarified butter, as well as macadamia nut oil and avocado oil. And all of that is listed, of course, in the book.
Okay, I've got to bring this up because this was my go-to. This is one of the ones that changed my life when I was really, really at my worst. And that is fasting. You say the word and people just walk out of the room. But let's talk about the power of intermittent fasting. I mean, to this day, it's something that just works for somebody like me.
And it works for a lot of people. There's no question about it. For those of us with blood sugar issues or that may be taking medication or have other kidney or liver problems, it may not be the right way to go. But we find that when you don't eat for a certain period of time, then your body is able to reset itself and detoxify. So you can actually regenerate your system and you can make more stem cells. So it's a regenerative, restorative method. You can do it or you can't. We leave that up to the dieter, but we suggest twice a week if you want to engage.
And you have different options for what this means. I was reading in the book, you're talking about, for example, confining our eating between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. or between noon and 8 p.m. And you say whatever works best. That's what I love about your book. There's always this whatever works best for you. I love that you've done that. You actually are calling on us to be our own kitchen alchemists, right? I don't think you said alchemist. I think you said scientist. I think I said alchemist.
Kitchen chemist, but I love it. Yes, you become your kitchen chemist because your laboratory is your kitchen is the laboratory of life.
Okay, I've asked you a lot of questions. I know I've got a couple of minutes left. What did I leave out?
I think that you didn't leave out much. The only thing I would say is that we have a 4-day intensive cleanse. So for those that want to do an intensive cleanse using juices and using the very best soup we found on the planet, which is watercress soup, we offer that. Plus, we offer the engagement of my whole team and I on our Facebook page for those that buy the book at radicalmetabolism.com. And we feel the book, again, is a game changer. This is not just your normal nutrition book. If you just want a diet book, this may not be the book for you. But if you're a notice low loser, if you've got thyroid issues, gallbladder issues, autoimmune issues, then by all means engage and give Radical Metabolism a try, because it's not just a powerful new plan to blast fat and reignite your energy in that magic number, 21 days, but it's for those that also have issues that they want to ward off, including the autoimmune that I mentioned, gallbladder issues, and even type 2 diabetes. We've gotten fantastic results with people that have not been able to lose weight, particularly with those with an over 40 metabolism.
I love it. Thank you so much for today. One last question. I know you're talking to so many people, and I want to thank you for your dedication and commitment. What is your personal message? What would you like to leave us with today?
I think that you have the power to transform your body, but you've got to take some radical changes, even if it's one little step at a time. Maybe it's getting the right kind of coffee. Maybe it's changing up your diet in terms of the right oils with the hemp seed oil that I mentioned. Maybe it's getting rid of your cast iron pots and pans. But one little step can make a huge difference in your overall health, and so that we can all live healthfully and in longevity to the age of 120. I think that's our divine birthright.
Wow. Thank you so much for today. Radical Metabolism, by the way, is the book. It's also the website, radicalmetabolism.com. And by the way, for those of you out there that just check out Dr. Ann Louise Gittleman, all of her work, all the other books as well. I want to make sure not only that you go to radicalmetabolism.com, but that you also take a look at passion, purpose, commitment, and love for all of us. What is your personal website, Dr. Gittleman?
AnnLouise.com.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I hope you'll come back. I know we had to get through the book. I hope you'll come back when we can talk about exactly what this 21-day plan looks like, how absolutely beautiful and simple you've made it. And I cannot wait to go back east with my buddy Linda and our copies of the book and have at it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bless you. Thank you.
All right, everybody, short break. We're not done yet. Are you ready for a little bit of astrology in focus? We'll be right back.
preceding audio was via a Skype call.